0-8, you find out what type of team you have. And I told the staff and find out what type of staff we had. And I think we made progress this week. You think about today, we're kind of at the halfway point. Scrimmage number 1, first time we've tackled. First time we've kind of managed the in-game situation piece as the players. And I think it's really reflected what I've seen for the first 7. I think practice has been very competitive. I think we've got a group of veteran players that are doing a good job kind of setting the tone and being a really good example. And then I see the young players, some of which were here last year and some of which we just got here, continue to make progress. So, I do think that I've been pleased with what I see. I do think that the next 2 weeks are going to be critical. And I think that's the big takeaway with the players today walking off the field was we're halfway, and it's important that we have a great focus over the next 2 weeks. So critical 2 weeks to come. We've got to get really specific about the areas where we need to improve. We'll present plans to the players individually, the position groups, the units, and the entire team. I do want to talk about this past weekend we had our chalk talk, and it was an A+. I thought it was well organized. We had more coaches than we've ever had, and we had representation from all the parts of the organization from an NFL standpoint, and really good for the high school coaches, good for our players, and certainly from a professional development standpoint, really good for our staff. So it's been a good weekend, and thought we finished the right way today. We're 2 weeks out from the orange and blue game, and really excited about what's to come. So critical 2 weeks coming up. What do we got?
So, Billy, is critical 2 weeks to find out what maybe you do well and don't, what certain players can do and how they can contribute maybe and what they need to work on? It sounds like, but do you need to know all that by the end of a couple weeks? Because is it too late, for example, by the time you get to camp? You can't start sorting through certain things at that point.
Right. Well, I think we only get to get on the grass with the players so many times, right? Especially with pads on. So process, from a process standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, right? I think each individual player is in a little bit different place. And part of coaching is getting someone from point A to point B. And even though we may have some veteran players, they're all still growing and developing. There's still things to learn, right? So at this point, we try to get really specific with each player. So we'll take tomorrow and Monday, and we'll basically evaluate each player individually and say, okay, hey, let's give this guy some direction over the next 2 weeks, narrow the focus, and then we back up. Each position coach will think about his group as a whole. And then the units, we'll get together offensively, defensively, the special teams group, and think about, okay, hey, because most of your concepts are built at this point. You got probably 80% of the installations in. Now you get specific with fundamentals, special situations, maybe position flexibility, right, moving guys around. We'll flip our 4 core special teams players, guys that will play on all 4 phases, things of that nature. But, yeah, no doubt. And, look, when we get done April 13th and we walk off the grass out here after the orange and blue game, we'll build plans for OTAs, right? They take about 3 weeks off before we come back for summer school, and then we'll get specific. I meet with the players twice a year individually, once back in January, and then I'll meet with them before we start in the summertime.
Specifically, DJ, a lot of fascination about him, obviously.
Yeah.
You've talked about the intangibles a lot with him and what you like there. What are specific, tangible things that you see that he does well, but maybe things he needs to work on, whether it's footwork, his throwing motion, things he needs to refine?
I think first of all, I would say he's impressed me with his ability to learn, retain information, and then he picks it up really quickly. And then his ability to take it from meeting room to walk through and then do it in a practice setting today was good for him, right? He had to play the situations as they arose throughout the scrimmage. I think the big next step for him is the game management piece, right? I actually asked him on the field today, I say, hey, did you play poker growing up, right? Did you actually play cards growing up, right? You play Texas Hold'em and you get a 3 and a 4, you fold your cards and you go to the next hand, So he obviously didn't play poker growing up, but sometimes you get dealt a bad hand and you got to learn how to play the next hand, So playing the next play, managing the situation, thinking of your decision-making relative to the game and the team within that setting, I think he's done a really good job in the practice setting. Today was new for him, right? So every day is a new learning experience for him, but he is a quick learner. And he did a lot of good today. I think made some plays with his feet, played with a group, the twos most of the day. So, I think that's where he's at. I think he's got physical talent. He's picked it up quickly, and now it's just the game management pieces next.
Overall offensive line, are you seeing the continuity, the chemistry there? You got the 2 new pieces on the outside, and you moved Damian on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
About that, please.
Yeah, the pocket's been cleaner. I think that's one of the bright spots so far. The length on the edges has been the major difference maker. I think the ability the 2 portal tackles, Devin and Brandon, have done a great job. And they're getting quality work because of Cam and Austin being banged up, right? So that forces Fletcher and Caden into the action with the 2s, and they've done a great job. So, you're out there with the first and second group, and you're 6'7", 6'7", 6'8", 6'7 and a half. We're just much better on the edges, and you get Austin and Cam back, for the summer. So, and Jake and Nijay and Damian obviously have experience. Bryce Lovett's been a bright spot. He has developed nicely. He's been one of the more impressive young linemen. Christian Williams is doing good things. Rod Kearney showed some position flexibility, being able to play center and guard. So Rob's done a good job with that group. We've added some quality players, and I think John, just in a short amount of time, Coach DeCoster's helped our group improve.
Have they made the progress so far that you anticipated through midway through the spring?
Some of them a little better than I thought, to be quite honest with you. To see all those young kids, I think we were right in the evaluation process, I guess is what I would say. I think we took some height, length, developmental players, and I think they're going to be good players for the Gators.
As far as the offense and the defense going head-to-head, any intriguing things that you saw in any position groups that stood out?
Yeah, I got one for you today. Now, this might not be the story you want, but there's a play out there today, and you guys and I have talked a lot about our walk-on program and how important it is. We were lacking in that area when we got here, and we've built, I would say we've got 116 players out there right now, and I think this fall we may be at 130, 135 for the first time. There was a play today. Tyreek Norwood plays edge for us, okay, and he dropped into coverage today and intercepted a pass, okay, and you would have thought, both sides went nuts, okay, because Tyreek Norwood is a 6-year player, okay. He's a guy who was in school here, came to the walk-on tryout, gave us 1 million reps on the scout team, tears his ACL. Okay, this guy is construction management, right? He's in grad school. Okay, he just tore his ACL. Most people would say, hey, my football career's over, right? But this guy went through the rehab process, returned to play. He's out there as a 6-year player that's a graduate student in construction management, picks off a pass, and the players went crazy. So that's probably not one that you'll write about, but I think it is a sign that the walk-on program matters. He's having a good experience. He's been involved in the Gator Made piece. He has access to the resources the other players have, and I think it's important on a football team that you appreciate everyone's role. So that was a good one. Now, I thought today it was much like 1 through 7. It was competitive. You know, there's bright spots in all parts. And I thought we made plays on defense. I thought we had great energy. We tackled well today. I thought in the secondary in particular, we tackled well. We made the offense turn the ball over. The offense had a couple turnovers in the red area. Pretty clean for the most part. There was a few penalties I would say I was disappointed with, but overall it was back and forth. I would say defense probably got the best of the offense today, but there were bright spots on both sides. I thought the kicking game was really good. Thought we got good competitive work in all 6 phases of the team.
From an operational standpoint, you guys are using the radio technology.
Yeah.
How has that been adjusted in practice and then playing out today? And then just with a couple new coaches, just operational.
Yeah.
First time getting on the field in the situation.
Yeah, it was good. It's really good. You know, I think the coach-to-player communication piece has been a huge change, first of all, in terms of how you operate, but it's been a blessing to some degree. It's really helped our operation on offense, and I think for DJ, that's just a huge advantage, the ability to talk to the quarterback all the way up until 15 seconds, right? So it's helped him play cleaner as a young player, and it changes your approach a little bit, you know, in terms of strategy and how you execute your offense. And I think it'll change the defense approach a little bit too, relative to maybe how the game has been played in the past. So headsets were clean today. You know, I mean, there's a handful of things that we can clean up as you would anticipate. But Ron was upstairs, John was upstairs. Good communication there. D&D field zone, everything was really clean. It's good.
Time for a few more guys. What are you looking for from him this spring? What he's done? What does he need to improve on? And how is he progressing?
Yeah, no, I think, Graham is in year 2. He's starting. You think about what Graham did last year, right? He moved to a different country and learned a new language, essentially, right? New group of people. Graham starts with a leadership presence and credibility, right? He starts in January. You know, essentially this is his team to some degree. And I think that's probably the big takeaway, is he has a voice and a presence for the month of January, February, and March. Now, we're in the football piece where that's even more impactful because he's communicating with the players each day. But, yeah, I mean, Graham, I think, has earned the respect of his teammates with the way he prepares, right? This guy lives in the building, very process-oriented. He's maximizing all parts of his day. And he's an example. You know, we talk about the quarterback kind of being the standard bearer for the entire organization. Think about good teams. Typically, the quarterback sets the pace, right? So he's done that. You know, I think we are trying to get Graham to be more aggressive without being careless. You know, I think the narrative on him coming in, obviously everybody talked about the interceptions at Wisconsin and all that. He proved that he could play clean ball last year, and then I think now it's about, you know, trying to improve the calculated risk, right? Let's try to be aggressive and manage the game and eliminate careless play, but let's try to go create more explosives and distribute the ball. You know, be the point guard and push the ball down the court. Yeah, that's correct. I think so. That's a good analogy. Yeah, no, I felt it was good. You know, I think we ran a little bit after 2. Yeah, our bigs in particular, I think, are in a lot better place. You know, I think we'll have some numbers for you here at the end of the spring. You know, we can sit down, but I think all the body comp stuff is going to prove to be exceptional. You know, and I think ultimately you got to think about what we're trying to do here is build the best player development team of people that we can. You want the players to have the best resources and the best expertise in those areas. And I think the strength and conditioning paired with the sports science, you throw Jake into the mix, and then the injury prevention component with the training room and the recovery. So I'm pleased with that, and I think we're in a good spot. I do think in the beginning of spring ball, no matter how much work you do in the beginning, football conditions are a little bit different, right? But we've hit our rhythm. I think our bigs in particular are in a better place, and then I think the skill, I think we'll look up the lean mass numbers. I think we'll be happy with all that. Yeah, it's been great. He's taken advantage of the reps that are available because of Shamar and Derek being out. And look, he was one of the most productive players out there today. I think when we look back at the stats, he made a lot of production for him today. So he's a good communicator. He's got an edge to him. He's big. He's long. And I think, he cares about the place. I think that's one of the reasons why he came back was something about Florida kids. I think there's a connection to the place, and I think there's a pride there that I can respect, and he cares about UF.
All right, we'll go to Graham, and then we'll close with Nick. You mentioned the secondary, the experience you added there in the offseason. How much have you seen that already pay off, and how much is that helping some of these younger guys accelerate their improvement throughout spring?
Yeah, the key deal is the experience piece, right? I mean, you look at all three of the DBs that we added through the portal, ton of experience. And then, Aaron Gates was banged up last year, so to get him back, he's a healthy, very talented player. Devin Moore is finally healthy, and he's got presence out there. And you throw that in there with Jason back, and then all those rookies that played last year, right? Jordan, Sharif, Bryce, Jakeem, Dede. I always think about them leaving somebody out here, but overall, that's a deeper group, and I think we've added some good experience. I was pleased with the way we tackled today. I thought, in particular, those guys did a good job getting the runner to the ground. So, yeah, we need to play better back there, right? And I think Will's done a good job, and I think we're a work in progress, but I like what I see.
Last question, Nick.
You mentioned like practice 6, 7, 8. It's probably around the time guys maybe tempers start to flare because you're hitting the same guys over and over. Those individual meetings, is that kind of a chance to, like you said, kind of narrow the focus or refocus guys? And then what have you seen in the past just getting after those meetings, getting out of them for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I just think we've taught a lot, right? There's a lot of information that's been taught. We've observed players, and we're kind of in a rhythm, right? We're installing quite a bit. The volume installation will go down, and it will become more about the development piece with each individual player. So less information for them to take on that's new each day, and more about it's not what to do, it's how to do it and why to do it a certain way. And I think that's where the back half of spring really presents opportunity, is you can refine the how-to and the why-to. And it's not necessarily, I just not get a mental error, just know what to do and try to do it. I think now it's about the little things. So I'm hopeful we can get that done. It's a critical 2 weeks to come here.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Right.